So, hey, I'm John and my wife Corey. Hi, Corey. Say hi.
Hi.
So, we met years ago down at Pike Place Market. We worked at Seattle Bagel Company. That's how we met. I drove the bagels all night, and she got in early, like 5 a.m., and started opening up the bagelry. What do we do for a living? She and I both work in social services. We take care of mentally ill, homeless. I house them, and she's a counselor. We bought this house right before the bubble burst, and the funny thing about that is that the day that we were going to close, the whole thing tanked. So we had no lender. So we had to find a lender. We scrambled for one, and some this bank down in California hadn't folded yet and closed up, so they gave us a mortgage. We bought this little house in Pigeon Point, and it was falling down the hillside, and uh, and it had quite the blackberry bramble in the backyard. You couldn't use it. You couldn't even see it because it was so covered in blackberries. And so we had this idea, well, Corey did, that we needed goats. And so a couple years later, a friend of mine told me he has goats. He has a farm, and he said I could have a couple of them when they're born in the springtime. So come the next spring, we he called me up and said we got some baby goats if you want to come get them. And that was Fiona and Birdie and Miss Beans. And shortly thereafter came Brox the poodle, because where they were moving they couldn't have a dog, and he felt bad that he couldn't keep Brox, but he came up with a really lame excuse that he couldn't keep him around. I didn't believe him. So Brox come to live with me. I used to watch Brox for him when he would take vacations. Anyways, he's a good dog. He's a really great dog. So we had blackberry brambles, and the neighbors have blackberry brambles, and so on down the hill. Dakota Street over there, which is a street that doesn't really go through, was completely covered in blackberry brambles. But now it looks like a forest fire went through there, and we don't have blackberry brambles anymore. It's great, and it keeps the rats away, which is the problem with blackberry brambles and all the rodents and everything else. The only problem is now we had to clean up all the garbage that was in there, but it's all right. We have goats, so sometimes the goats get out, and then I get a phone call because they all have little name tags and phone numbers on them, because I had to register them with the city, and they're registered as dogs. They're just dogs with horns. Anyway, so they get loose, and the best way to get them to come back is with a bag full of tortilla chips or maybe some popcorn. But I trained them to come when they hear the bag crinkling. So I got the neighbors trained too, so they know if the goats are not in the right yard, or if they're in their yard they don't want them to be there, that they just need to grab a bag of potato chips or anything, and they'll follow them home. Goats are great. They're fun. Now they're just glorified lawnmowers.